T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling
Let's get the
Talk,
door, please.
the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Hello.
I don't know. My mic was doing something really weird just now. But hey everybody, happy Thursday. We are back with another recap of NXT. And we have a special like live premiere type event. I believe it was one of those like not a pay-per-view, but like a pay-per-view kind of sort of with NXT's Spring Breakin. And so before we get into the of that episode, what were your initial thoughts of this episode?
I enjoyed it. Some matches I felt like ended too quickly. But I mean I enjoyed the progress of most of the storylines and I enjoyed the matches for what they were. Just would have liked some to be a little bit longer, that's all.
I agree. I definitely do think that some of the matches could have been a little bit longer. And I now feel like we kind of was right with some of the speculations we had about maybe some of the draft people. The draft after this, I felt like, okay, we're definitely gonna have somebody somewhere else. But yeah, let's jump right into it. The first match up was the trunk match featuring the family versus Pretty Deadly. And so the show did kind of start off with like a party like by a park or in a park or something, and they were kind of talking about like the matches, and Javier throws the avocado you know into like a fountain or something, and so I'm like, oh, all right, we get right to it. Clearly um everything goes in NXT. It's like everything happens, everything goes down. And so um there is some moments that was pretty solid in this matchup. And I like Pretty Deadly. I think they're like a super solid tag team. And so I thought this was pretty good. It was like a really fun. I feel like this was more fun type of match. It could have been moments where they could have done more. I felt like towards the end is where they really started putting like more of a, you know, a stipulate the whole stipulation for this matchup. I felt like it should have been a little bit more in that regards, but I did like the use of certain things. I believe Pretty Deadly did bring a table, but they didn't use it, so I really wasn't sure about that. I thought, like I said, it was a nice little cute open for this, but I do think they could have done a little bit more, considering it was supposed to be like a street, like a street fight type of thing, and they didn't give me moments that they really could have given this. I felt like this was probably the moment, especially since I'm now convinced that Pretty Deadly is gone from NXT. I think they're done. And so if you're gonna do a match like this, they could have done a little bit more, only because this is technically like their send-off match. And that has been kind of my issue sometimes with the NXT. Very much so, like when Johnny Gargano kind of left NXT, he got beat up, and then we didn't see when he made his debut again, like later on. And I was like, oh, but you got beat up in NXT. And so it's like, I feel like even though it makes sense for them to be the ones, because I do think we do need more tag teams on the main roster. This wind up being, like I said, it really got close to the street foul towards the end of the match. They used weapons in the ring a little bit, not too much, but there was where both Pretty Deadly did kind of isolate Tony D'Angelo, and they kind of carried him to the car, but then he found the fire extinguisher in the trunk and kind of set up the story that they were going to be put in the trunk. And so they pretty much, like, I think toward the end, supposedly they put them at the bottom of the river because, typical mafia type style kind of match where it's like, okay, they kind of got rid of them. And so it was a solid open. I did enjoy it, but I do think, being that this is supposed to be, I believe this is definitely Pretty Deadly send off. And I'm going to think it's SmackDown. At least that's what I'm thinking they're going. And I could be wrong, but I truly do believe that they will be going to SmackDown, and so they'll be missed in NXT. But Tony D'Angelo and Stacks did defeat them by putting them in the car trunk to open Spring Breakin. And so, what were your thoughts about this match?
I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was cute, especially the little ball pin spot. I just think that they were Pretty Deadly. They just have a lot of innovation in their matches. It's just always silly. It's never fully serious with their matches, which I love. Like, you need a little bit of jokiness to it. Obviously, I knew that the family was gonna win. Like, I had no thoughts of, yeah, Pretty Deadly's gonna win. No, because I felt like it was gonna be a send up, as you said. Like, and they usually don't let people win when it's a send off. It's very, very few and far between if they do. Um, yeah, they're definitely going to SmackDown. Yeah, I don't know why I just feel this way, and I'm gonna say this now. This will be the thing that makes me walk away from WWE. I swear to God. If they somehow mess up Pretty Deadly, that is printed money. If you can't find somewhere for Pretty Deadly, if you can't utilize the raw talent, there's something wrong with you. That'll be the thing that breaks. That'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back for me. So Pretty Deadly, I will miss you so much. I'm talking about you every week because you literally were like the highlight. They better get it right. I'm not playing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I feel like now we know sometimes these kind of gimmicks don't always work too well, because it made me think of now Tyler Breeze, for instance, where it worked really well in NXT, and then it didn't work as well with the main roster. And because I feel like NXT, I mean, granted, this recent NXT crowd has been very like and very fickle and a bit like annoying at times. But I feel like certain gimmicks work a lot better with this crowd for whatever reason. And so I hope they let them kind of stick to, I think it works, and they can wrestle. So it's not like they just have like a really off gimmick and then they can't wrestle. They actually can wrestle. And so I think they should keep them as is. And I hope they keep Pretty Deadly and not some random other really poor tag team name. And you're like, what the F is this? Let's keep it the way it needs to be. I do feel SmackDown. I feel like Monday Night Raw do not need. No, and no, let's call a spade. SmackDown is the A show. If you're thinking about when they had the real brand splits before, when it was like legit, you knew who's on Monday Night Raw, you knew who's on Thursday SmackDown. This is like SmackDown is the A show, and so I feel like they need to be somewhere where they can probably get appreciated. But I just hope that I agree. I hope they don't mess them up, but we shall see. Because I don't know. I don't know. We know how WWE can be sometimes. So let's hope they get it together. Let's hope. And so this now brings us to the next matchup, which was Andre Chase, accompanied by Duke Hudson, versus Braun Breaker. And so before this matchup, Duke did tell Andre that he will be the only one in his corner, hating as he does hating, because Duke like to hate apparently. But so this, I thought Andre came off really strong in the beginning. I do like he came out, using the ropes. He, used the turnbuckle. I like that we're kind of seeing, that while his matches don't last as long as they could, you can clearly see that they're doing more well, allow him to do a little bit more in the ring, and so that's good. Unfortunately, because this is what they have been doing, and we kind of talk about this when it will air next week, about certain people that we just know to expect, like they're probably going to lose a match, and so, he did all of that, but Braun pretty much after that definitely, uh, kind of regained control and dominated after that. Andre tried to do like a boot or something, and Braun caught that. And then it was a squash match. I do believe this was a squash, but it was a little bit more fun than the normal squash matches. Because he did do his Steiner recliner, I believe that's what it is. He had forced Andre to tap with his Steiner recliner, and so it wasn't like the typical like I'll beat you up and then it's over. Andre did get a little bit of moments in which I did appreciate that they letting him do that, but we also kind of know what to expect. I feel in Andre Trace matches he's gonna probably lose, which is like unfortunate. Um, but Braun Breaker did win this matchup, and then he, this could be some kind of maybe we'll get a rematch with him and Carmelo, and it's possible we can get that at Battleground. No, it's very possible that he might make it to the main roster. It could be either or right now because I feel like they're setting him up that maybe it could be another rematch where he might get the title back and maybe they'll take Carmelo instead. Or, like I feel like they're making him dominant to kind of show why he's supposed to be champion in the first place. I feel like that's what they're doing with this. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, no, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Braun was gonna win. I never in my mind was like, yeah, Andre got a chance. No, and I really rock with Andre Chase. Like, don't get me wrong, that's really people's. But Braun Breaker is Braun Breaker. Even in the beginning, when they were talking, it was Wendy Chu and Nathan Frazier, and even they were like, "Do you think Andre has a chance?" And they're like, "Nah." I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. That's the truth." And I actually wanted to say I really love that whole beginning because it kind of reminded me of SummerSlam. I forgot which year, but they had like the whole picnic and all the wrestlers were involved. I thought that was cool. I would like for them to do that more. I just think it's cool because it's like says, "Oh, these people are still." Here, like, some people maybe haven't seen. We saw Lash Legend in there, and we haven't seen her in a little bit. So I always find those really cool. So if they could do that more often, even with, the main roster, I would think that'd be very cool because it just lets you know, oh, okay, you haven't forgotten about this person. Because sometimes I'm saying, like, have you forgotten this person is on payroll? Can we see them? Like, so I thought that was cool. And yeah, Duke, he needs to get beat up next. For real. He should have been the one that got that beat down, actually. I feel so bad.
I agree. It definitely should have been Duke since he's the reason this match happened in the first place. But okay, so like moving on, um, maybe that's very possible as well. If it be where Braun goes, but he still gets the rematch. I guess we'll see what they're gonna do because we don't really know what this new. Obviously, when they do the draft, it's gonna be a bit of a shakeup, and so we'll see if they're gonna really do better. So we'll see. But this now leads us to the first women's, some women's action with Cora Jade versus Lyra Valkyria. Getting messed up with Taya. But this was a decent match. I don't know. I feel like they could have Cora did start off this match pretty dominant, but then Lyra was able to kind of go against it. She did a bunch of kicks, which I thought was kind of impressive. She did a bunch of bridging suplexes, again, really impressive. And then I think she even did like a baseball, like a high baseball slide, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But I don't know. And this is maybe just me because I feel like after all of this for the last couple of weeks where they were kind of going back and forth, I felt like this could have been a little bit more, I don't want to say climactic, but like if this is supposed to be a feud where like she insistently went after Cora in this regard, because we wasn't sure what Cora was going to happen with Cora when Cora came back, and then it was like, oh no, I'm going after you. So you think when you do something like this, you're like, all right, let's really big it up. And so in that regard, it didn't really big up for me. I just felt like somehow during like the end, something was missing, and I'm not really sure exactly what it is. I don't know if either one of them. I don't think any one of them are going to go to the main roster. We'll be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. I don't think they're ready for main roster just yet, at all. However, Cora Jade did try to use the kendo stick, um, to this to the and which distracted the ref because the referees always get distracted apparently in wrestling. But this kind of allowed Cora instead to kind of catch Lyra with a chop block and DDT to win this matchup. And so it looks like we're kind of off the feud. Now I don't know. I just feel like it's done because it didn't look like this will be something that will continue after this match. Personally, I could be wrong, but I just feel like okay, we're done with this feud. It didn't really give me like, oh no, we're gonna see them next week or we're gonna see them in 2 weeks. With that regard, so it was okay, I guess. I just felt like there's something for me really was missing, and it was unfortunate because I'm like, man, like I want to like this is Cora's like first big match since she was back. She had a little injury. Hey, what's up? But also, I don't know, just something was missing for me. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
No, I definitely have to agree. Like, this was one of the matches when I said earlier that I felt could have been longer so that they couldn't really get to something because I felt like there was just something off. Like, I'm like, it wasn't a bad match, but it could have given more. Like, it didn't give what it needed to give. Again, what you say, for this being Cora's first big match back, it definitely needs to give a little bit more oomph. Like, and yeah, it just didn't do any favors for either of them. Maybe if they could run it back, or I don't know, but yeah, this definitely didn't give what it was supposed to give. But I mean, the right person won for sure. But I do hope they figure it out with Lyra, though. I think she is very talented. I liked when she did the bridge with I think it was like 2 times she did I forgot what that move is. Some type of. It was good. Okay, it was good. Yeah, but definitely wish this match would have been longer. I think they would have both benefited from it.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like they could have just done a little bit better because it was her match back and we wasn't sure what they were gonna do. She was gonna go after Roxanne. We didn't know, and so it was just like, oh, I mean, I guess. So I feel like this is done because what else can you? I mean, you might have to. I don't know. I felt like they could have done a lot more. I just felt like something was really missing, and that bothered me because it's like let the and it could just be maybe they didn't have chemistry together. It could very well been that because for most of the time we've been seeing them, it's been little moments, but not a full match. And so maybe that's what it was. But I just felt like something was just it wasn't hitting for me, and it's unfortunate because you want things to hit. Not that I'm a Cora Jade fan, because I'm not, but I do agree. I think that it made sense for her to win this, but it just like I like Lyra, and I just felt like I don't know something with the two of them was not hitting, and it's unfortunate. And so this now leads us, which I was a little surprised that it was in this part of the show, but it was an NXT championship match with Grayson Waller going against the champion Carmelo Hayes, who of course was accompanied by Trick Williams. And so, before this matchup, Trick did do what he always does. He kind of talked up Carmelo because that's what he likes to talk him up as an NXT. It was pretty, how you want somebody to hype you up, the hype man. He definitely knows how to do that for Carmelo. And we've been kind of sorry, I don't know why I went back to this photo. My bad. He's somebody, if you want somebody to hype you up in the corner, Trick is definitely somebody who definitely do that. He definitely hyped him up. And so this was a solid matchup. I'm not a Grayson Waller because I'm not. I am not at all a Grayson Waller fan, but this was a pretty solid matchup. Um, there was a moment, I believe, like during the matchup where Mello kind of got into an argument with the referee, and Grayson used that opportunity to kind of hit Trick Williams with a steel chair. Um, there was also a moment where Carmelo did like this springboard reverse DDT, which was absolutely fantastic. And this is why I'm like, if he does go to the main roster, I would not be surprised if he does because like he's that guy. There was also a moment where Grayson tried to do like a rolling cutter and it was close, and I was like, don't play. Let's not play this. And then Grayson did elbow Carmelo through the announcer table, so there was a lot of good moments, good spots. Um, but even with all of this, and I thought, this was really solid. Um, Carmelo did do a super kick and did his nothing but net. I believe that's what it was, and he did get the win to retain his belt. However, um, I thought, and see, this is like, while Grayson had already done this before, he lost. And he didn't lose the match. I feel like in this regard, this kind of showed like him and Carmelo had really good chemistry. I felt like they really kind of did their thing in this matchup. Probably one of my favorites, and I freaking do not like Grayson Waller, but this is one of my favorite matches of the night. I think they really, really showed out in this. But after that, Braun Breaker did he did call out Braun, and Braun came and decided to spear Trick Williams. And then he also did his Steiner recliner the Trick. So Trick was taking a lot of punishment for no reason, it felt. Punishment for absolutely no reason. And I feel like this kind of also showed the animosity, or rather between the two, Carmelo and Braun Breaker. So I thought this was really good, and maybe because I do feel like we're going to get a rematch at some point. I feel like that's what they're building up to. But I thought this was a really fantastic match, and I thought even with Braun doing all the extra aggression that he was doing, it worked. It really you know, I mean, Carmelo's not scared. I feel like he's a person you don't have to be like afraid of. Like, you're not gonna be afraid of talking shit. I feel like Carmelo's gonna back up when he needs to back up. And while he did all of that, I thought it was a really fantastic match. I'm not sure why it was at the middle of the show. If it's the NXT championship, that kind of threw me off why it was so early. But I thought it was really good. I do think this is gonna reset up, and maybe not the upper room. See, look, the gospel earlier, now the upper room. It's all coming together right now. It's all coming together. Um but I do think it's gonna be a really good rematch. And at some point I wouldn't even though I said Grayson lost a couple of times, I wouldn't mind, even if it's not for the title, seeing them wrestle one more time, just because I thought they have really good chemistry. But what is your thoughts about this matchup?
Yeah, no, they definitely did their thing. They do have really good chemistry. Like, I picked up on that since from the Iron Survivor. Like, they do have some chemistry, for sure. And I love the part where, and I think Jeffrey brought it up, where Trick you knew he was up to something, and Grayson, because he is also a sneaky heel, picked up on it immediately and dealt with the situation. I was like, that's perfect that they had the wherewithal to remember, oh, you know what, Grayson would be able to spot this because he would do it himself. I thought that was cool. I liked it. I obviously loved when Braun came out and set the record straight. Let him know, because you know what, Trick deserved to get hit, because at the end of the day, he had a hand in the tricky ways of how things went when Carmelo won the first time. And I think that they want to make sure it's definitive the second time, because you do still have those people saying, well, there was this, and well, as it was this. So it's good that they're doing this a second time. I think Grayson might be one of the people picked for the draft. I don't know why, but I'm feeling this way. And honestly, good riddance. Get out of here. You get on my nerves. Tired of you. Every time you go up to SmackDown and say, "Oh, I'll build SmackDown. SmackDown wasn't here before Grayson Waller." Like, go do all that and leave us alone, because you're stressing me out. That's it.
You're gonna do all that and get Roman gonna have to come.
He's gonna say the call at one time and just
Roman he can't do that on SmackDown. He can't do that. I feel like Roman would not have that. You cannot be coming there and talking, oh, that's smack, like you part of tribal, like you the tribal chief. Gotta calm that down, Grayson. I mean, I'm okay with him leaving. As long as just don't give me, like as I said before, as long as they don't give me him and Austin Theory, I'll be okay. I cannot have them both at the same. I just feel like it's too much. too much. I can't do it both of those at the same time. You gotta let's give me a reprieve. I can't. But he might have to take his talents to Raw because why? Like Roman not appear on Raw sometimes. He mostly shows up to SmackDown if he really got to show up. And so just let's not get beside yourself. I feel like then you gotta have get beat up by Solo Squad. Do you want that? Do you want your first?
He could also try it on Raw, but then I think if the Judgment Day is around, they might jump him. I don't know. He's bad all around.
I mean, but maybe that's like you see. I feel like never mind because I feel like then what can you do? Because if you get Rhea Ripley by herself could probably handle Grayson Waller, and so it's like you don't even need Finn for this. Like Rhea could probably handle him. That's light work, But then you go to SmackDown, then you get beat up by Solo. I feel like there's no options here. You don't get beat up because Solo just do what you need to do and dip. The way you need a person to be, just do what you need to do and leave. Okay, I don't know, but I mean I'll be okay if he leaves NXT, but also it's like I wouldn't mind just seeing him and Carmelo because I thought they actually had some really like awesome chemistry. That it was like I was like okay, I mean, and now you got me having to admit, Grayson. I don't like to admit. I don't want to admit to this. Like, oh, ew, not gonna be nice. That's hard to be nice about Grayson Waller. I had to be nice because I'm like, damn, I can't even say anything bad. You actually, I can't say nothing bad about the match. You actually did a good job. I can't even be like, man, you suck. I can't even say that. Not for this match. I couldn't even do it. And that was hard. That was hard. That was hard for me as a person. It was hard to admit that. But yes, solid match. I guess we'll see what's happening because I feel like we really don't know. Like I feel like we know certain things, but then it's also like we don't really know like what's gonna happen with this draft. It really could be like, oh damn, So
Yeah.
we'll see. But before we continue on, let us see some words from our lovely CEO TK Trinidad.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw Post-Show, WoW Post-Show, AEW Dynamite Post-Show, Women's Wrestling Army Post-Show, NXT Post-Show, Impact Wrestling Post-Show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live Post-Show, On the Scroll, ROH Post-Show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
As always, TK letting y'all know we got a lot of shows for Women's Wrestling Talk because we are like the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. So hello, we have a lot of shows. And so definitely, check those out. And as we always appreciate you guys hanging out with us on Thursdays. But spring break didn't have that many matches. We didn't have that many this time. So let's move on to the mixed tag action, which I've been waiting for, between Brooks Jensen and Kiana James versus Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley. And so before the matchup, NXT did show a video package kind of showing what the story that kind of led up to this, matchup. There was moments that I really, really enjoyed. And I think if anything, it's because like the drama between Miss Kiana and Fallon, I did that it helped. But it seemed like at first Josh was a bit reluctant to fight Brooks at first, but Fallon seemed like she was okay with beating up like messing with Kiana. And that I was like, listen here, Fallon, because clearly the hate that you have is too much. Like, be for real. And so it seems like also that during this, like Brooks, was trying to make some amends to Fallon at this point, but then he got hit with a running shoulder block from Josh. There's also a moment where Fallon did trip Kiana off the apron and threw her into the steel steps. And this allowed, Jensen to kind of do a running spin and heel kick. And I thought like there was just really good moments considering how I felt. And I still kind of feel the way about the story because I feel like it was unnecessary with regards to Fallon's hating. She's doing a lot of hating during all of this, but I thought they really delivered in this matchup. It was really good. It was nice to kind of see how they improved the story over time. And I felt like if anything, because and this is mostly because we know that they are kind of a tag team, right? They were going against each other in this matchup. They are a tag team, and you can definitely see that chemistry, even though they were going against each other. You can actually see that while they in that matchup, that the chemistry was still very much there, and I did enjoy that. However, um, Brooks kind of knocks Kiana accidentally off of the apron, and in turn, got a lariat, and um, he got the win. So pretty much Josh and Fallon did win this matchup, which I wasn't really happy about because I just wanted Fallon to lose because it was just no. And then afterwards, Kiana tried to slap Brooks Jensen, and then she kind of told him, she never loved him and walked out. And then you kind of see Josh hugging Brooks as like, oh, okay, well, that's what she said. And do I think it was mostly said because they lost, possibly? Or maybe she really didn't because that's what Fowler was saying. But it could have been better if he wasn't. I felt like, I mean, would you really want to get gold with somebody who really is like a shitty tag partner? I feel like, why do all this to yourself? They're a shitty tag partner. It's not like you did it and like it was a good win for you. Look how their matches was look how their championship run was. I feel like that if that was the case, it did not help her. But I really just wanted Fallon to lose because she was annoying me all these weeks. That I just really hoped Kiana was going to win this, and I was like, I guess. And now, I guess this means the story is over. If they're not going to have any, like, if he doesn't go find out why she said that and she left, I guess the story is over now. But it was just like I really wanted Kiana to really beat up Fallon. I didn't like that. It was like, ew, what's this? Why is Fallon? What is this, NXT? Did you not hear me, Sean, when I said that Kiana to kick her ass? Did you not hear me, Sean? And so I was a little upset about that. I was because ew. But I do think this is actually a really fantastic match, and I think it obviously had to do with Briggs and Jensen. I felt like it was because of their chemistry, truly, that we really got to see them really do it in this matchup. But what were your thoughts on this match?
No, yeah, they definitely brought it. Definitely one of my favorite matches of the night. What I will say is, Fallon, girl, you might have got this. You might have won the battle, but you ain't gonna win the war. I'll tell you that much. My thing is, Kiana can't use someone who ain't got nothing. Just because Jensen randomly out of nowhere, because before it wasn't like Kiana went out her way to make them a tag team. Jensen just randomly said, "Hey guys, I got you a tag match." She didn't tell him to do that. He did that all on his own. She may do. I feel like Kiana did like him a little bit in the beginning, but then Fallon started doing too much and she had to prove a point. I understand that. Kiana is a city girl. There's nothing wrong with being a city girl. She's doing what makes her happy. And Jensen was down for the ride. Like he had his first kiss and all that. Come on, it's not like he didn't get anything out of this. It was a mutual usation, if that's a word. It's a word today. Fallon, girl, I give you your props. You definitely did your thing in the ring. Shout out to you. But I would have liked for Kiana to get this win. I just like Kiana. I just love her vibe, and she's an amazing wrestler. Fallon is too, but she complains too much. Turn that complaining down. You were so geeked up to fight Kiana. It's like, why are you so bothered by Kiana? Like, it's actually funny to me. Okay, she tried to buy your little bar, but she didn't. Move on. That's what moving on is. I've seen Kane set people on fire. They moved on. You still holding on. Let it go.
Not the fire. Oh,
worse things happen to people and they got through it. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they got through it. Trust me, Fallon, you'll be okay. Let this be the last time I hear her complaining about anything. And Jensen, you was eating that look up. I don't care what nobody say. You was eating that look up. Yes. If he come back in the jorts next week, I'm gonna be very upset.
I just want to put this back up because we will not apologize. We don't know. We will not apologize. I will talk. I will keep on talking because she irritated me. Okay, she irritated me. We don't apologize for these. Okay, we don't apologize because you might maybe because she said, "Oh, well, I love." No, Fallon deserved that. Where was this energy in the tag team match for the championship belts? Where was this energy? The energy was gone. It was zero. She gave nothing. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nothing. We don't apologize for that. No. We stand by what we said. Fallon need her butt kicked. She still need her butt kicked. As far as you're right, because I had to think about all the bad things that happen to people. There's a few things, okay? Sometimes I think about that time that poor Hardys and Lita got beat up by Triple H and Stone Cold. I never forgive. You know, I'm hurt. I was hurt, okay? We think about all the chick, is it the Chinkata, whatever that Ed and Christian used to do, and they used to do the cheer thing. Kane definitely, yeah, there you go. Because I was saying something totally off just now. And Kane definitely did set things on fire. He did. You know, Jinder popped on my TV since you mentioned Jinder, and I mean, I haven't forgiven, but I guess I moved on a little bit. I guess I will never apologize for Jinder Mahal. Like I would never. It would always be, this is gonna have to be put in the book of Katrina. I will never apologize to Jinder Mahal ever. Like Chris Jericho had to drag that out ever. I would never. No, that's gonna be put in my gospel because how dare you? Okay, we will always talk smack about Jinder Mahal, and I will not apologize to Fallon because no. She did too much. Where was this energy? Okay? And I'm not a city girl. I'm a homebody. I don't got time for that life. That's not my life. But you know, city girls can be up in 2023. It's been tough. Be up, Kiana. Be up. Hold it up, sis. She gonna do what she need to do. I just feel like maybe it wouldn't have ended that way if Fallon would have minded her business. She should have minded her business. This is the energy I better see from her. Every time she has a match now, she better have this energy. She better win every match now. You better be winning. Better get W's. Get the W's now. You doing all this. Have this energy for everybody else on the roster.
Yeah.
Now, if she go back and if she lose a match, she getting a tweet. Because how dare you, sis? You did too much.
Yeah.
She was a terrible champion. She's a terrible tag team partner. And she's even a worse friend. Don't get me started with her, but have to go on the rant again. Because, okay. But I'm just saying that, you know what? It's sad for him, but also, you know, I just feel like if she would have minded her business, this could have been a happy relationship. Okay, and now here we are. Because honestly, if I'm dating somebody and your friend is doing this much, you know what? Why don't you be with her? Because I don't got time for this. This is not. Now I have. And I'm not about to save your life because I'm really not. I can't. I don't have time for all that. It's too much. But you know, whoever is about that life, you know, do you have fun? That's what Kiana need to come back with all the men. Okay, just come back. Stunt. What do you have, Fallon? Nothing. That's what's gonna happen. Okay.
She got a bar.
So
she got a bar. That's what she got.
Yeah, the bar. Yeah. And so after that, there was a segment with Joe Gacy, and Ava Raine kind of found Joe Kofi, and they Coffee, excuse me, and they challenged him, and I guess if Joe Gacy wins, I guess the Dyad would get a match against Gallus. If you know Coffee wins, is both Joe, then the Dyad can never challenge Gallus again. And so because we do know a little bit of background situation with them wanting to release from the contracts, they're probably going to lose. Because they're clearly going to write out the contract. I feel now like that's kind of what they pretty much said. So they're going to write it out. I don't think they're going to like let's try to be funny. If they're trying to be funny, but like we're going to have you guys win this and then still lose to Gallus, and then you could be on your merry way. Because I wouldn't put it past being petty. Sometimes WWE is definitely petty. I don't get me the line. I can't even answer that for you. I am not sure. And there was something I forgot to mention earlier, and I'm gonna just quickly mention it, where Dijak did attack Island Dragunov on the way to the arena, and then kind of trapped him under a rolling metal door, and then the officials had to come. And so Dijak better be lucky. I don't know. His days are numbered, because how dare you? Don't do that to Island. Don't do that to Dragunov. How dare you? Okay, with your big ass, your little big old doofy self. Want to be doing shenanigans? Don't do that. I didn't appreciate that at all. I was highly upset when I was like, why everybody keep doing these type of things in NXT? Everything is just like the Wild West over there. Everything happens. Everything happens. It's like you get kidnaps, beat up, alleyways. It's just everything happening. Why is everything happening in NXT is beyond me. But what was your thought about those segments?
It's very dangerous in NXT. Like, this is a dangerous spot. It needs to be on a list of dangerous cities. I don't even care if it's not a city. It's dangerous. And it needs to be listed somewhere so someone knows. Enter at your own risk. But Joe Gacy, I'm thinking maybe they might add 2 people or add 1 extra person, so it could be Joe Gacy and whoever that person is. I don't know. I'm getting that vibe, because why would they do this? It just makes no sense. Why they would just put Joe in this predicament to lose on he's gonna lose because he don't. Well, they're clearly not even standing here what he's asking, so clearly they're not here. I think that they're adding someone. I really do. I genuinely do. And for Dijak, oh my god, like, I'm actually becoming such a Dijakian. Like, what is the stand name for him? Dijackers? Dijakoans? I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm still working on the Jay White one. Most people have said it's not the best. White Knights, it's not working, so I'm gonna figure something out for that. But Dijak, you got me. He's like if Batman was a wrestler. I'm telling you, like, the things that he says is so funny. It's just, like, he is like, I'm becoming such a fan. Like, I love it. Batman. He's so serious. It's so funny. I love him. Like, that's it. And this match is gonna be insane. Like, I just need it to happen. Like, I'm about to put a ring out in front of my house. Just come out here and wrestle. Like, I just know that this match is gonna be so good. The Jacks. No. No. Immediately no.
Oh god. See, no, like, he can wrestle, but I just don't be doing to Dragunov. That's my problem. It's like, why are we doing this? You say this is somebody I don't like. Beat up Jinder Mahal. Beat him up. You can bring him back on Tuesday. If he gets beat up, I will allow that on a Tuesday. I will allow my Tuesday to be ruined slightly by beating him up. Beat him up. Don't be beating up Iron Dragon. What did Dragunov do to you? He did nothing but serve great matches. That's what he do. And you're doing shenanigans. I don't like this. I was like, ew. See, I can't like you again, because why are we playing these games? Why? And so I'm just like, now I can't even like your skill, because why are we doing this? Why are you messing with him? Okay, the man been through enough these last couple of months. Okay, the man lost his belt, had to come back, and then he got like all types of shenanigans. Like, no, I know you like. I just know. And then you mentioned Jay White, and I do not like Jay White, and so I told you, I was never a fan of Jay White. Never a fan. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, you just remind me of somebody who just do shenanigans. Like, you just somebody who cheat on people or something. Like, you just like, oh, I cheated, but it's not about that. Why do you like if he got through his phone and you found something you shouldn't have found, he would have blamed you. That's the vibe I get from Jay White. It's like, oh, why did you look at my phone instead of why did I cheat? That's the vibe. That's the vibe I'm getting from Jay White. So I can't. And then he talks back about Okada, and you don't talk about Okada. You don't do that. So I'm just like, he done lost all the points. You don't talk about that greatness. And so Jay White, White Knights really sound like some.
So what you're telling me is I need to start sending the Jay White edits on TikTok with the Roman Reigns edits together. Okay, we gonna get you right, girl.
Roman is fine. I can see the Roman, but let's not do Jay White. I feel like now I'm gonna have to put a bad comments on people's videos. Like, I'm like, trash cans, emojis, all in the comments. Ooh, here's Jay White. Oh, Jay White. Here's some trash. This you want to get these poor innocent TikTokers with just bad emojis, because that's what's gonna happen today videos. I'm just gonna put your trash emojis. Terrible. Terrible. Let me spell it out. Whole bunch of E's. Terrible. Okay? No. But I think this is like the time I had to disagree, because no, Jay,
No,
no, I just
don't worry, Jeffrey. I'm gonna turn her. He's gonna turn me and him. We're gonna turn her around. She's gonna be like, "Yo, Jay White is a man."
not gonna happen. I have not liked him since 2019. It's
Damn.
yes.
This is long term beef. This is
long term beef. I haven't liked this since 2019. I'm like, oh, you keep talking smack. Do you not see, like, listen here, pony man bun guy. Let's calm this down. You're not better than Okada. You're not better than him. Okay? He's making it rain, and all you do is irritating my blood pressure. That's what you're doing. You're raising my blood pressure. And we don't need that. We don't need that. I just want a whole thing. My bad, guys. Let me reel it back in. Let me reel it in. And so next matchup, we did have Oba Femi versus Oro Mensah, and so they did show during his entrance. They did show Oba's strength stats, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, all right, okay. We can show his stats. However, I feel like this really wasn't a long match. I felt like Oro did push him with, like, cause he's a little bit of a veteran, kind of have some speed, but he really didn't. I felt like Oba did a pop-up power bomb, and he looks like he definitely can move, but this was not a long match, and it's unfortunate. Again, something we have mentioned at which will be airing next week, about certain people you just kind of expect now to just take certain things, and unfortunately, this was one of those situations where, yeah, it's unfortunate that this is what we got. It's really unfortunate, because you really wanted them to really do something with this, and they didn't, and it's really unfortunate. But good win for Oba. It was a good win for him, but I just felt like, if anything, it does say he can move in the ring, and so that's always a good thing. I think bigger guys who can move is always a plus to me, because that means you have other things you can use outside of your size. But it definitely was kind of a squash, which is unfortunate, because it was just like, damn, I feel like poor Mensah, he just fell so far down the ladder, and it's unfortunate. It really, really is unfortunate that he slid so far down. But what are your thoughts about this very quick match?
Let me tell you, I was so sad when I seen Oro out there. Like, he has so much potential. He has such a good look. Like, I just don't understand. He hasn't even been at NXT that long. It's like, you didn't even give it a chance. You didn't even give him a chance to, like, really, like, get some buzz. I think he had maybe 2 matches and he was gone. That is so upsetting. Why? I was so mad. And then, don't get me, Booker T. Why? That man sat over there and said Obafema. He called that man Obafema. He said it loud. He said it loud and proud. This man was driving me crazy on the commentary. Obafema. Booker, please. Honestly, I couldn't even focus because I was cracking up listening to Booker T. That's honestly ridiculous. But I was also so sad about Oro, because I feel like there was so much potential there. But we'll see what Oba Femi has to offer. I mean, he's huge and he throws, furniture, which is always helpful. So I'm just wanting to see where this goes.
Yeah, I don't know what Booker T was on, because I'm like, is this supposed to be, isn't that what they send when you need help in disasters? They send money to help those in need. I was like, is he about to help the needy? Is he about to give to the needy? Like, what is happening? Why are we calling? Like, come on, Booker, you had one job. You had one job, Booker T. One job. Okay, it's like, how do you? I'm just like, so is he's for the help? He's helping people now. He's about to the hurricane about to happen. He about to give some money. I was really confused by that because I was just like, how do you mess up his name that bad? Like it's just, but I guess Booker T, because I don't know. I feel like if somebody messed up his name, he'd probably be upset. I just if somebody called him anything but Booker T, he would have been upset. I don't know why he said that, but yes, I guess we will see. But it is sad for Menta. I really do. I'm like, damn, like you hope for more, you hope for better. And so after that, there was a couple of segments. So after the match, Gigi Dolan did grab a commentary mic and challenge JC Jane to a match next week with her baby brother on ringside, which I don't really know why you need all that, but I guess. And then there was also a segment where Dragon Lee showed some respect to Noam Dar in a backstage interview. And then there was Mackenzie Mitchell kind of, aired a challenge where Scripps pretty much challenged Axiom because apparently he still wants to keep this going. And then we also had a bit of some random NXT anonymous person happened to catch video of somebody attacking Pearl Soroka in the parking lot. And while I do know she has an ACL tear, and so please, so get better soon because you are absolutely fantastic. And it's just so many ACL tears. It seems to be a thing happening right now in NXT in particular. But whoever this random person who caught the attack in the parking lot, because apparently everything's always going down there. Thank you, anonymous source. And then there was also a segment where Drew Gulak did challenge Wesley for the NXT North American Championship. And him and Charlie kind of mocked Wes's reckless type of attitude. And then Tyler Bate did find Wes and offered to stand with him next week in his corner. So we had quite a few segments. So what were your thoughts on those segments?
Now, Tyler, listen, I was not born yesterday. Tyler, I'm about to turn heel on this man all over your face. All over your face. I'm sorry, Tyler, please. I already know what type of time you're on, and I'm on that time with you. I'm totally for it. Do it. But don't try to trick me. Don't try and trick me. I can spot that. It's okay. You want to be a bad guy? Be a bad guy. Don't lie to me. So Ruka, girl, my sister, I am so sad. I'm gonna miss her. Like, I hope she heals quickly. I hope she heals as quick as she picks up wrestling, because then she'll be back in a few weeks at the very least. NXT Anonymous, like, why did you dip down? We could have seen who it was, but you want to be scared and dip down when the person was walking out the room. We could have seen who the person was running out if you just stood 10 toes and got it. Hell, hold the camera up and you could have dipped.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
Could have used the selfie stick. They got things now. You could have used the selfie stick.
Thank you.
And just been like, but.
Like, help me help you.
Like you had one job. How do you catch the attack and not the attacker is beyond me. But I guess anonymous person was like the green guy. They have the vacant guy. He's just a vacant guy. I'm like, this person was clearly acting like vacant because how dare you? I just feel like, how do you not get the most important part of this evidence, which was to see who did the attacking?
I don't want to make things up, and I don't want to start narratives and stories, but these attacks didn't start getting as crazy as they did until the head security Hank stopped being a security guard. So I don't know. That's all I have to say.
Are you saying he needs to demote himself back down to security?
Something's wrong. Like, they need leadership down there.
I mean, Hank better get to hiring somebody. He moved on up. Like, he clearly didn't have a replacement. He needs a replacement then.
Hank and Tank need to get back over there. We need them on the front line. It's getting very serious out there.
It is. It's getting real. It's been a lot of, like, it's always something happening in NXT. It is kind of dangerous. I feel like if I was going there and talk some smack, would I make it out? Because, like, Everything goes down there.
I don't even want to
Everything
do
goes
own
down
it.
there. Which now leads us finally to our main event, which was for the NXT Women's title between Indi Hartwell, Roxanne Perez, and Tiffany Stratton. And so this, each competitor, I guess, kind of talked beforehand, saying, that they were gonna kind of get themselves together for this match. Indi even, talked herself up in front of, the mirror, kind of seeming uncertain, which is a little bit weird to me because you're the champion. And so I'm not really sure why that is true about the cameras. So I wasn't sure why she was looking a little bit unsure. Because you're the champion. And so this was a decent match. I thought it started off really strong, but then it started to get a bit sloppy, which I didn't particularly like. And I don't know if it was because of the situation with Indi's you know, knee. And that's what it was. There was a moment Indi pulled off Tiffany off of Roxanne after she did a moonsault. There was moments, like I said, that was good, but it looked like she legitimately hurt herself, and I felt like this kind of got a bit like improvised. I don't know. It just, I do like that she's a fighting champion, and I do respect that. There was a moment when Tiffany did a running double foot stomp to Roxanne, and then she did like a moonsault outside the ring, which was good. But like Tiffany did say, she does think she needs more time, and I agree. She has her moments where it's like solid, and then there's other moments you're like, no, this is why you still need more work. And that was very evident, unfortunately, in this matchup. And it's kind of made me sad because it made Roxanne look a bit sloppy too. And normally she doesn't really wrestle sloppy. And it was unfortunate. And I don't know if that's because they was really trying to improvise and they didn't know what to do when Indi clearly did look like she got like injured. Um it was a moment also that Roxanne did a Frankensteiner, which looked like she could have possibly won the match. But Indi was able to save her title. She, like I said, she did pull off Tiffany off of Roxanne, and she did a running forearm to Roxanne to win this match and keep her title. And so I do like, again, that she's a fighting champion. She does fight. She's been fighting ever since she had it, and I do appreciate that. But I'm hoping she's not hurt, because like, is it gonna now affect how long she'll be champion? Does it mean they're gonna leave her, like, again, because we don't really know what's happening with the draft just yet, who's leaving. I really feel like now they're probably not going anywhere after this. But it's unfortunate because I'm hoping Indi's not really hurt. Like, maybe it's just something that tweaked a little bit and she'll be fine next week. But it just, this is kind of why I guess this is NXT, and you kind of saw it a little bit because they really didn't know what to do after. Because I don't think they prepared themselves for Indi to be injured. It doesn't look like they, and then you can see that like it kind of fell apart a little bit. But Indi did retain her title. Again, we don't, I guess we'll see what's happening next week with how, if it's going to be like a real problem with her holding the belt or whatever. But what were your thoughts about the final match of the night?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the match. Yeah, I definitely saw there were some things, and I could see that, Roxanne was definitely trying to, like, rectify the situation as best she could. She is one of those people that's so good in the ring, and it's so like odd when you see her have like a botch or a mess up a lot of times. Yeah, Tiffany, yeah, it was just like, I guess they couldn't really get a hold of everything just because of, like, the circumstances with Indi. I don't know what's gonna go on with that. I'm a little bit like, but also, if she's good, her next match, it needs to be pure domination, because as of right now, we have her winning because Dexter was able to lift her up because she had issue with her leg and wasn't able to climb up on her own. The second time, she barely gets the win with, a busted knee. She's looking really weak as a champion at this point. Now it's like all the things about saying, oh, you're a beatable champion, all these things, it's starting to get ground to it, because her two wins, so far as champion, there have been like these, mishaps. So I'm hoping the next match she has, if she's good, and I hope she's good. Of course, I'm always gonna want people to be healthy. I don't want anybody to be injured. That's ridiculous. And so she can just have that match. So whoever she faces next, it needs to just be pure domination. So she needs someone who doesn't have too much steam behind them. Yeah, because it's not looking too good right now.
To this comment. Yeah, I agree. I do think that if she's not really injured and it's just something that happened for that match and it's not serious, that they have it where it's not any, like, 'cause I feel like Aroha matches have been having little weird things happening, and it doesn't, like, again, I like that she's a fighting champion, but it doesn't really legitimize her either, because it's all this weird stuff that's going on, and it's like it's fluky, and we don't want that either. And so we'll see, I guess. We'll see what's gonna happen. And hopefully she's not injured, because nobody wants to be injured, and they do put themselves on the line to entertain us and, do cool things. So we don't want nobody to be injured. And so yeah, but that was the end of NXT this week for NXT's spring break-in. And so solid overall. Oh, this is great. You missed the whole thing about that earlier. You missed the whole thing. Even the Cade reference of why Kiana was in the right in this. But like I said, say the girls up. Tell everybody, Shay, where they can find you and what you got going on.
Okay, so you can find me at Shay Sawyer _ on most platforms, and on TikTok it's Shay Sawyer 23. You can also find a new episode of the Big Pop Theory podcast this coming Monday on Spotify. And then you can catch me right back here Thursday for Women's Wrestling Talk for Women's Wrestling Army at 5 p.m. And then NXT, I almost forgot NXT, at 7. And I do have some shows coming up. We do have Dark Side of the Ring. When we get a specific date, we'll let you know when we're going to have that out. But that's for UPR as well. And I'll also have the challenge. I'm a big challenge fan. So I'm going to be doing the next season, All Stars 4 with Mike Knox. It's 3 X's on UPR, and we will let you know the dates.
Awesome. As for me, you can find me on Cat We Trust on all social media, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. The E is a 3. I did release an interview, I want to say on Monday or Tuesday. Listen, I'm trying to end the show on a positive note, a note of positivity. And here we are with the shenanigans. Okay, I felt like I'm gonna have to make some commandments here. Clearly, I have these commandments. Katrina's commandments. Thou shalt not do shenanigans. This is shenanigans. This is shenanigery happening right here. I don't appreciate the shenanigans. Okay, I'm trying to end on a positive note. Positivity. Okay, and that was negative. Negative. I just had an interview with Brittany Brooks, super awesome 18-year-old wrestler who's just super I very, very positive. I did say this to her a lot during the interview. Very positive vibes, and I don't get that often where it's that much oh damn, oh okay, got me feeling happy. I was even happy that day. So I have an interview with her. I do have a new interview coming out with Stevie Bay Knox, who's an up and coming ring announcer from Oregon, or whatever way people pronounce it all the ways. But Oregon, she's doing her thing they're doing their thing on the West Coast. And so that interview will be coming live tomorrow on noon Eastern time. I also just released quite a few videos. You know me, I love my horror and everything. And so I did a little bit of a thing with Evil Dead, and I did give my little thoughts on Mighty Morphins. Hello 90s 80s kids, you watched it. And I also kind of gave my reaction to Insidious. I do planning on doing 2 more shows. If you like K-drama, there's 2 shows I did watch which I loved, and I'm going to review those next. And so that's super awesome. You guys can catch me on Mondays and Thursdays, obviously on Miss Wrestling Talk, to talk about WoW, superheroes, and NXT. Me and Shay will be on the A to the K wrestling show on Thursday. We did film an episode, and it's pretty much called Get the F Out of Wrestling. And it was a really super fun episode, and we'll go live next Thursday. And so definitely go check that out. And as Shay said, because we do like to do Dark Side of the Ring, we'll be back to do more. Love you back. Thank you so much as always. We will be back to collab again for Dark Side of the Ring, and hopefully it's no more shenanigans like that episode with Nick Gage. I know Nick Gage fans might feel away, but I stand by what I said. I say what I said what I said.
Janetti episode, Cat, like literally.
I already know the Marty Jannetty episode is gonna be pure shenanigans. I already gonna prepare myself to be. It's gonna be pure shenanigans. I know, because he is like the stuff he be saying now. I'm just like, oh my god, just pure. You know, clearly he's still bitter, but the bitter Marty. But it's gonna be a good time. So when we do find out when it airs, so I'm not really sure yet, we will definitely let you guys know. It will be collab with my channel and her channel, on Unpopular Review, which is my former channel. But yeah, we will have all those good things for you. As always, we love you guys, and thank you guys for hanging out with us on Thursday, listening to NXT recaps, and we will catch you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.